Looks like it's been the first weekend in like forever that it's not probably the great weather time outside. So what can we do if we're stuck inside, Michael?
Or maybe you want to go outside, but
to get back inside.
Yeah, go to a movie theater.
Yes.
Well, we have two movies that are playing at theaters opening this weekend. Let's talk about the new Transformers movie. This is number 7 of the franchise.
7?
They've done 7.
I would have guessed 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They've done quite a lot. This movie is set in 1994, stars Anthony Ramos. He's a young man living with his mom and his younger brother who has a lot of health problems, trying to find a job but just can't get anywhere fast. Dominique Fishback plays, she's an intern at a museum who's incredibly talented but yet can't get ahead. So there's the two humans, but at the same time, of course, with Transformers, there's going to be robots. And you have 3 sets of these robots. You have the Autobots, who are the good guys, who are trying to get back to their home planet. You have the Terracons, who are, of course, trying to gobble up worlds in all the universe. And then there's a third group, I forget their exact name, but basically they're the beasts. They're the Transformer beasts. All of them are trying to get a hold of this key that can transport them to all across the universe. So there's something at stake. This movie, of course, is very loud, a lot of special effects, but it does have a good story at its heart, partly because of Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback really center this movie and give it a real emotional heft. But of course, there are plenty of scenes of the cars turning into robots and robots turning into different things. This movie, of course, is made for kids, but I still liked it all in all. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I call it a not bad movie. You don't have to see any of the Transformers to keep up with this one. It helps if you probably have, but you can see this one without knowing anything else. So
7.5.
Not bad. Again, it's a summer movie. Look, if you're walking into Transformers, it's not Hamlet. You're not expecting, Shakespeare.
But if I'm 9 or 10, what would you give it for me?
If you were 9 or 10, you'd probably give it a 10.
Okay.
It has exactly what you want.
Good.
So since we did a big loud movie, I thought we'd do a nice quiet movie in case you have another option this weekend. It's called Mending the Line, stars Brian Cox and Sinqua Walls. Sinqua Walls plays a Afghanistan war veteran who returned home. He's injured and full of guilt because he lost too many men. You see there at the very beginning, lost too many men in Afghanistan. It leaves him both emotionally and physically damaged. Brian Cox plays a Vietnam veteran who also is still dealing with PTSD, who is a fly fisherman. But he can't go out by himself anymore because he kind of gets dizzying spells. So the doctor at the VA suggests that Sinqua Walls goes fly fishing with Brian Cox, and it turns into a real sweet story of the friendship between Brian Cox, who people know from Succession, and Sinqua Walls. These two men from different generations, different backgrounds, still develop a warm friendship that really centers the film. There's another young woman played by, I believe her name is Perry Matfield, who's also dealing with trauma of the loss of a fiance who died tragically. So you have these 3 main characters dealing with their issues, trying to work through them, and all the while the story of fly fishing and trout fishing kind of plays as a beautiful metaphor for life. It's visually a lovely movie to see. This is a quiet film, but after seeing Transformers, I love seeing this one. I gave this one an 8.5 out of 10.
That's pretty good.
A movie for adults that I think a lot of people will really like.
A river runs through it?
Kind of, it's that same kind of genre. There's a lot of you got to cast forward, you got to, swim upstream to get where you want to go. Those kind of metaphors, but it still worked. It's a sweet film.
That's a quiet movie, isn't it?
Yeah, but if that's what you're in the mood for, this is the one for you.
I could use that. Nice quiet one.
Not bad at all.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.